Welcome to the course of Internet of Things, in short IoT. In today's class, we are going to learn about Arduino Uno with respect to the wired connectivity. In order to have wired internet connection to the Arduino Uno, we need Ethernet port, right? So, in this particular topic or the section, we are going to add an Ethernet shield to the Arduino Uno and write the code according to it and connect to the internet using the Ethernet. So here, coming to the figures, the first figure what you are seeing here is an general Arduino Uno which we regularly use, and the right side what you see here is an Ethernet shield. So using this Ethernet shield, we are first going to interface this particular Ethernet shield to the Arduino Uno, and then we are going to connect the Ethernet cable in order to access the internet. Okay. And coming to the software requirements, at least a minimum version of Arduino IDE of 1.6.4 is required, and much more later version is also very much preferred. And coming to the circuit, so as I've already told you, so there will be an Arduino Uno. First, we need to make sure that the Arduino Uno is powered up and it is connected to the PC with the help of the USB to D type connector. And once the Arduino is connected to the computer or the battery, now we need to mount the Ethernet shield on top of the Arduino such that all the pins of the Ethernet board is inserted into the Arduino Uno. And now what we need to do is we need to connect an Ethernet port or the LAN cable to the Ethernet shield. So in this figure, you can see there is an Ethernet ports or Ethernet cable is connected between an Wi-Fi router and the Ethernet shield connected to the Arduino Uno. So this is how we make connections in order to access the internet by the Arduino Uno. Now, so this is the Ethernet shield, okay, which is compatible for the Arduino Uno. Now, in order to write the code, we need some functions or some functions need to be considered. So, in order to write the code for this particular Ethernet connectivity to the Arduino Uno, we need few things. First one is the external libraries. Second one is the internet connectivity through Ethernet, and third one is the standard functions. Okay. Coming to the external libraries, we have an header file called ethernet.h. So this is the header file or the library which is mostly required for this particular Ethernet connectivity in order to use the internet connection. So hash include ethernet.h is preferred in the external libraries. And coming to the internet connectivity with respect to Ethernet, we have several instructions like IP address, static IP address, MAC address, Ethernet client, all these things need to be considered. Okay, you need to remember this some of the instructions where we use it to access the internet connectivity to through Ethernet. Okay, now in order to connect the internet using Ethernet, we need to have some functions like void connect to internet, and in order to connect to the Ethernet with DHCP. Now we need to configure this particular Ethernet using DHCP, where DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, and the MAC we already know, right? MAC stands for Media Access Control. Okay. Now this DHCP should be enabled or connected to for this particular smooth flow of the Ethernet connection in order to access the internet. So what we do is if Ethernet dot begin with respect to MAC address is equal to 0, then we will be considering that there will be a configuration failure with respect to the DHCP or the Ethernet end. Okay. Now, in order to access, we need to write these instructions ethernet dot begin with respect to MAC and static IP address. Okay. And you can give some delay of 1000 milliseconds, which is nothing but 1 second. So if the connection is successful or established, so you can type a message like connection successful. So this particular connection successful has been incorporated into this particular serial.println, such that if there is a connection establishment, you will automatically redirect it to a message called connection successful. Okay.